The Six-Pack Challenge is back with episode... See, I don't know what to do here because
we've hit a crossroads, and not like the Cody Rhodes kind either.
Yeah, not the good kind. The 0009 is what we went with. Now we're 0010.
0010? 0010?
Yeah, 000 Ty Dillinger.
Let's think this through. When we hit 0121, will that still work? Or do we abandon ship here?
Do we axe it right now and say this is just episode 10?
Episode 10?
I don't know. I feel like that was their thing, though. Let's go with 0010.
All right. And 0010?
Then we can continue to fuck it up when we can't remember what we're talking about.
Perfect.
But anyways, episode 10, whatever you want to call it, X if you're going Roman numerals here. We are back. This is Keith over here. My name is Mark.
Hello.
If you've just joining us for the first time, we have 6 beers. We have six topics in the world of wrestling from this week, and that's what we like to talk about here. You can follow us at Six-Pack Cast pretty well anywhere. Just look for it. We're most active probably on Twitter, I'd say.
I'd say so.
So you can follow along there, live tweet during the shows. If you ever have any questions or topics or you just want to bitch at us and do whatever, we welcome everybody's opinions. So we're just wrestling fans and want to talk wrestling. That's
exactly.
What this is all about.
That's what this is all about.
Let's get right into it this week here with a huge, massive announcement. There was kind of some buzz leading up to this on Raw that Stephanie McMahon was going to kick things off with a huge announcement. People speculating that it was going to be tag team titles for the women.
Like that rumor got a little bit out of control. There was even a point where on the main subreddit for wrestling, it's called Squared Circle, the guy that claims to be the guy that makes all the belts for the WWE went like, yep, I just finished these. They commissioned them. That's what they're going to announce.
Well, there goes his credibility.
Yeah, that really shot himself in the foot there. So we might get that one day, but instead we got the first ever women's pay-per-view in the WWE called WWE Evolution. Yeah. Not to be confused with that Evolution.
Evolution is a mystery.
Take a Diet Coke.
Yeah, see, that was my one issue before we get into this. Couldn't come up with a better name. I mean, Evolution is...
Like, this is the third time they've used Evolution because there's Evolution, and then there was an NXT pay-per-view that was like R bracket Evolution, so I guess that's...
And there was New Year's Revolution. I just feel they could have gotten away from that because...
I understand why Triple H has a hard-on for the word evolution.
This is true. I never thought of that if he's the one making the decisions. Well, I got an idea, boss. Evolution. We haven't used that. I like it. But yeah, so they're going with that. If we can just get aside from the name, because I mean, clearly they could have come up with something better. What do you think? They didn't. No. What are your thoughts on this? An all ladies pay per view. We're talking past, present, or wait, what? How did she put it? Now, then, and forever.
Yeah.
So we're going to see some legends there. We're going to see.
It's hard not to think about, like, I know I'm being very nitpicky here, but like the title card where they just took, that like white thing before the show that's like then, now, forever. Just took that.
Definitely. They're like, yeah, that'll work. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, it's a really cool idea. It's we were worried about like the pay-per-views feeling too samey, just having the same 12 shows over and over, especially as they get rid of the gimmicks. Oh, they're just replacing it with something new, and this is cool. It's I really like the idea of an all-women's pay-per-view. It's another one of those, okay, let's get through it. It's a first. They're breaking ground and stuff. I have a bit of an issue with that whole thing, but I think it's really great that they're doing an all-women pay-per-view. And I mean, it's a good idea when, as a fan, you think about all the matches that you might get to see there. Like, okay, they announced the finals of the Mae Young Classic. Great. We've all been speculating about like a Trish Stratus return. Boy, this seems like a great place for that.
Yeah, well, they mentioned her name. She is back at this, as well as several legends here. I was just thinking before, at the risk of sounding like an asshole, but since you kind of brought it up too, I do have a little bit of an issue with this, and I don't know how to present it without sounding like a complete asshole.
Here's I'll do my best.
Okay.
Because I've thought about this one for a long time. It's great that they are giving women this platform, and that part of it is awesome because we are I think women's wrestling is the best it's ever been, ever, period.
For sure.
The problem lies with WWE patting themselves on the back for it, because it's been happening for years elsewhere, and for every wall that the WWE's breaking down, it's one they put up themselves. When they say something along the lines of like, gone are the days of the bra and panties matches, you booked those fucking bra and panties matches.
You're the ones that put them in there.
So
the first one, which I selfishly do miss once in a while, I wouldn't mind the odd one, but I just, flashbacks of Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler, that's all.
Exactly.
But so again, I don't know how to not sound like an asshole. I think I kind of agree with what you're saying there, is they're now patting themselves on the back. It's too much of this. Well, look at this is a first. It's a first. Like, look at this. Now they've gone beyond that though, and I feel like, okay, wasn't the whole point to be even on par with the guys, like so that if the women's feud going into WrestleMania is the best one, have that main event.
Yeah.
That's perfect. But now it's kind of like we don't need the guys here. I don't know. See, I like the idea of it as a specialty pay-per-view. I think I get sick of the, like you said, patting yourself on the back and like, yes, we get it. It's awesome that the women are doing these things, but I feel like if you tell us it's awesome over and over, then it's more
it makes it a lot less awesome.
It. Yeah, we get it. Why don't we just watch it? Now, you did mention Trish Stratus there. I wanted to bring up which legends are you looking forward to possibly seeing at this now?
Trish, number one on the list for sure. Lita. Maybe they even go back further. Like they've kind of like mended the bridge with Alundra Blaze. Maybe
that's what I was thinking.
This is the platform for something like that to come back, or not for a match or anything. Yeah, maybe, but
maybe have some part in it. I think, like especially with they're going into the Hall of Fame recently and whatnot. One name that I feel doesn't really ever get brought up, like she wasn't at the Rumble when we saw a lot of great stars come back, and you never really hear much about her, is Victoria. I'd like to see Victoria back at this. True. She was always a great wrestler in her day, too. So.
I feel like there's some heat between the WWE and herself. I remember reading that somewhere online. So
Vince ate at a restaurant, and, the steak wasn't cooked right or something.
I wanted a medium rare, damn it.
God damn it. I feel like Vince doesn't even cook his steaks, though. I imagine he just tears off raw meat, but all right, so there we go. Evolution, it is coming up again October 28th at the Nassau Coliseum in New York, and I guess we're excited for it. It's going to be different. So
it's going to be different.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a great pay-per-view.
Definitely. All right, number one contender here for, we know now going into SummerSlam, things are heating up. We got to see what's going to happen. Who's taking on Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? It's Roman fucking Reigns again.
Big dog.
Surprise, surprise. Because Bob got that win over him at Extreme Rules, and that's about all Bob could muster up. It's just like, So I'm not that, and I don't think you are either. I'm not a Roman Reigns hater. I'm really not. But it's just like, we've seen this so many times already, and everyone has just shit on it before. Like, how do they expect this is going to be any different?
This is the third time this year.
This year, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but has Brock Lesnar's only opponent this year been Roman Reigns? Did he have a match at the Royal Rumble?
That's what I was just trying to think back to. Did he have a Rumble match? He had to have, right?
You think so, but they also had 2 Royal Rumbles. We need to look this up.
Let me fact check this as you discuss the Roman Reigns saga continuing here.
Now, there's a cynical part of my brain that wants to think that this isn't over yet. Like, maybe we still have a possibility to this triple threat match. Because, I mean...
With Lashley or with someone else?
With Lashley, with Bob.
Okay.
Because Lashley has that win, now Roman has that win, kind of puts them on equal ground. Maybe they have the tiebreaker on Raw next week or whatever with Lesnar there. He interferes in the match, leads to a triple threat or something. I don't want to think that Extreme Rules was for nothing, and then we just go straight into Roman and Brock.
We just go into this. Royal Rumble 2018, Brock Lesnar defeated both Kane and Braun Strowman in that triple threat match.
Right. Okay, so
because Kane ate the pin, obviously.
So Brock's had 3 opponents this year.
But really 2 viable opponents. Kane's just kind of there to, again, eat the pin. So
true.
I don't know. I don't know where they go after this. Like, is this finally where Roman gets awarded the title? It
has to be.
Yeah, because if not, then what do? What do they drag it at Survivor Series again?
Probably not. Probably to WrestleMania.
Yeah, like I don't know. It has to happen. I just want it to happen so we can get on with some different storylines. And Brock goes and does whatever Brock's going to do. I don't know.
Exactly. I do think it's time to have a full-time champion again. Like this Brock Lesnar reign it's gone on a little too long.
Yeah, and we appreciate having the long title reigns, but when you get to see them is kind of nice too.
I was to put it in perspective, I was reading a stat this week. I didn't confirm if it was true, so take it as you will. But apparently Brock Lesnar is the first champion to win the belt at a WrestleMania and defend it the year after.
Really?
Yeah.
Win it at a WrestleMania and defend it the year after.
So he held it and retained for the entire year.
Because obviously Hogan had it for many years, but did he actually win it at a WrestleMania? He was always defending, really, right? Yeah, Ultimate Warrior, I guess, wouldn't have through there.
Because I don't think he held the title for a full year.
No, it could be a true stat. I don't know, apparently. So, what about CM Punk, though? I guess he didn't win it at WrestleMania,
He didn't win it at WrestleMania.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the reason he's not fucking here, because he's pissed off that he wasn't there. So, thanks for that, everybody. All right, same deal going on SmackDown now. We have a number one contender for the WWE title, taking on AJ Styles.
A little more exciting of a match, this one.
Now, we had the big announcement all set in the ring with Paige ready to explain who's going to be going to SummerSlam, and that went to the shitter with
the true number one contender,
James Ellsworth.
So good.
James Ellsworth got fired, too. I guess that could be kind of like a little side topic here that we need to mention.
Now, do you think it's fired, or just like in quotations, fired?
I think he's gone.
Yeah?
I think I remember we talked about this a couple weeks back when we were kind of wondering, did he come back just to kind of extend Carmella's reign here, or are they actually going to have a spot for him? I think he's gone. I think he was just called in to do, a month's work, and there you go.
I agree. It kind of ran its course.
Yeah, which he needs to be happy about. I mean, how can you be anything but happy about that?
He got a payday.
Exactly.
Good for James.
Another payday. He got some nice ripped clothes again, like his nice stylish shit that he gets to wear all the time, and he's off, riding off into the sunset, as they say. But yes, after all that went down, of course, we see AJ get attacked in the ring by the one and only Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is the number one contender for the title at SummerSlam. What do you think?
I want to hope this match is going to be good, but to go back to that cynical part of my brain, the last
Are you worried?
championship match that I hoped was really good did not deliver
Nakamura,
at WrestleMania.
AJ? Yeah.
But Joe and AJ, they've had amazing matches in the past. I think this will be great.
Well, this is the thing, right? They have a lot of history, which, I mean, I guess current WWE fans that haven't looked in the past are looking at this as a new feud, but I mean, really, they spent a lot of time
going
together.
on for 10 plus years in TNA.
Yeah, so do you think is this going to be brought up through the feud leading up to it? I mean, WWE doesn't seem to shy away too much anymore from mentioning other companies or anything. I
think it'll be something along the lines of we've faced each other in the past. We've had a long rivalry. They won't show TNA footage or
clips,
anything like that, but they have to bring it up.
Yeah, have a lot of history there. So, should we get? Well, we're not going to do predictions yet. I guess we'll just let that settle for a minute. See where this goes.
Excited to see how things go.
Yeah,
I love Samoa Joe's cold, calculated promos. Mm-hmm. If he's in a main spot and I get to see more of that, I'm a happy little camper.
He's pretty to the point, and I'd like to see where this goes. I hope they have more of a build to it than they did with the Nakamura AJ thing. I felt like that, kind of fizzled until the last week or so before, and they're like, "Oh shit, we need to actually
to do something.
People care about this match." So, but I think with the intense start to this, with Joe attacking him right in the ring there, then I think we're off to the races here.
Agreed.
All right, you got to tell me about this because I haven't had a chance to listen yet, but maybe the greatest album to come out of the WWE since, I don't know, WWE Aggression or something. Elias. Walk with Elias. This is an actual thing.
Now available on Spotify, on iTunes.
I don't know if you noticed throughout Raw, but I don't know if it was climbing the charts as Raw was on, but Michael Cole happened to mention it's at number 16 on, it's at number 12, it's at number 9. And I'm like, okay, is this actually happening? Or I didn't check to see, but that was a fantastic segment on Raw with Elias coming out, trying to debut the big album and getting interrupted over and over and over. He can do no wrong in my eyes. I love this guy.
Agreed. And if you love Elias, you're going to love this. Calling it an album's a bit of a stretch because it's only 4 songs.
It's like an EP.
It's pretty much Elias EP.
Okay.
But it's exactly what you would expect from a full Elias song. It's not going to change the music industry or anything, but it is just Elias shit-talking you and talking about how much better he is than you. Even the 4 songs. The ballad of every town I've ever been in. You can probably imagine what that is. Elias's words. Nothing I Can't Do and Walk With Me. The four songs on that album, all of them are great, and it really goes to show that like Elias is probably one of the last pure characters in the WWE, and it's so great that they're giving him this ball and he's just running with it perfectly. I think next week they're doing like a live Elias concert after Raw.
Oh, yes. See, I love the fact that he has gone somewhere. I don't want to sound like that guy right now, but I'm going to be that guy. In NXT, watching him when he started off as the Drifter, I just remember him coming to the ring and like, I remember thinking, this guy's entertaining. They don't use him a lot, though.
He didn't click in NXT, though.
He didn't get used a lot in NXT. Like, he was just kind of there, which I guess like went with the character of the Drifter. Like, once in a while, he would just kind of show up, right? Yeah. Which was cool, but he was, as much as I liked him there, he was the last person I expected to just come on Raw and hit the ground running, and all of a sudden, now he's like, you know, in the Intercontinental title situation. He will be in the Universal title situation, I'm sure of
Easily. He's almost like the opposite of NXT, really, where everybody kind of has that lull where they debut on the main roster and they kind of suck for about 6 months to a year. Elias, whatever clicks, just hit the ground running, and he hasn't stopped. We're like a little, I guess about a year and a half into Elias's WWE run, and I would say that he hasn't had a low point yet. Like, yes, he hasn't really had like the most prestigious career title-wise and everything, but I think he's one of those characters that just doesn't need it.
But I'm fine with that too. I mean, I've said over and over on this podcast too, I love when they just kind of the slow burn, let things just kind of happen, because it means more when someone actually wins the title or whatnot. And I think they're treating Elias perfectly. I mean, there's not a lot of people they have done this with, and you're totally right saying he's like the bizarro NXT superstar where it's just like, yeah, everything is switched around. He's not Finn Balor where he, you know, was incredible there and then just kind of
or Nakamura or Bobby Roode or
the list goes on and
everything.
On. Yeah,
he is honestly, in my opinion, one of the last pure WWE characters. Like, there's not much of those left because you can always differentiate the person and the character. When you look at somebody like Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins or even Roman Reigns, you know that, okay, this is his television person and this is the real person that's like the rest of the week. With Elias, I honestly have no idea where the character starts and the man ends. So
he seems like he could be a bit of an asshole probably, and you know, obviously he's into music and that, so like this doesn't seem too far away from him.
He doesn't show the man at all.
No,
the part that we see is only the character, unless I'm just not looking in the right places.
No, which is the best. And I also found that even when he had like that little feud going with Braun Strowman, he was even playing like the kind of like the chicken shit heel well. Like even when he was a little scared and not like so overly cocky and everything, he still played that perfectly. So everything going right for Elias, and I really have to listen to this album because
you do.
Does he like rip on specific towns in that one then?
In the Ballad of Every Town I've Ever Been In, yes, he goes hard on most of America.
Oh, yes. This needs to happen. All right, there you go. Available now on iTunes and wherever you want to buy your music.
Free on Spotify.
Perfect. Walk with Elias, is that the name of the album then?
Walk with Elias. If you search for WWE, it's the first thing that shows up, at least on Spotify.
It's number 4 on iTunes
Good
now,
God.
Apparently, according to Cole.
Which is incredible.
All right, Ciampa is Ciampa. Champion, I guess.
Ciampa is champ.
Fuck, I fucked that up.
Yeah.
Such a good line, and I fucked it up.
Ciampa's the champ!
What the hell?
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
You know what? Our podcast is coming out one day later, and I'm so happy that it worked out this week.
Perfect.
I just happened to...
I would be so pissed if we recorded yesterday and we missed this. We'd have to sit on this for a week.
How do you miss it? I mean, honestly, so we turned NXT on last night at our house, and I actually wasn't even going to watch it. I was going to catch up on it later because we were about to watch a movie, and all of a sudden, I see the match, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, NXT title. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm watching this tonight then. Yeah. So the Jungle Book, we kicked that aside because fuck
I'm going to say you made the right call there.
Yeah, we'll watch that another time. Fantastic match, first of all. I mean, we haven't been able to say enough good things about Ciampa and everything with the feud with Gargano. Gargano gets involved in the finish of this, comes in, fucks everything up,
takes out
Aleister Black, and here we go. Tommaso Ciampa is NXT champion.
How insane is that? Like, this is Black's first loss, right? And it's just such a non-factor. Like, they made no deal of it. I love that so much.
Yep.
And Ciampa, he's NXT champion.
Do you think this was in the plans for a while, or have they seen how amazing this feud has been with him and Gargano over the past few years? They thought, you know what, we need to bring this feud right to the top because there's going to be a title match between them now. Like, this is maybe how Gargano finally gets it.
Exactly it. Like, they saw those two matches, like, oh shit, we need to put the title here because that's where it's going to lead up. The story's so perfect it writes itself. Ciampa's champion, now Gargano's the number one contender eventually, and then Gargano's first title reign is by beating his arch nemesis Ciampa. Yeah, it's so good.
You're the devil, Ciampa. You're that. I love how they're using that clip. That guy from the fan from the match just shouted that out. That is perfect. Where does Aleister Black fit in all this? Because he kind of got screwed. Is he just going to get kicked to the side? Right away? Is he going to have a problem with Gargano screwing him over? You would think he would have to.
Maybe eventually. Maybe a triple threat for the next takeover. Like, I don't think they go to the one-on-one, so it's Gargano, Ciampa, and Black at the main event for takeover, and then Black's not involved with the finish or whatever. And then eventually we lead to the match.
Or just thinking, outside the box here, does Black just get kind of thrown up onto the main roster now? Does he just go away from it all? And
there's always that chance.
Leave them to
WWE.
Battle I don't. This was just so incredible. The story continues to get better and better and better, and the fact that now Gargano is the one who ends up basically handing the NXT title to Ciampa on a silver platter.
Oh, so good.
It's just, he's got to hate himself for it.
I've never been more depressed about the potential looming, like, basically darkness, as dramatic as that sounds, as a call-up for either Gargano or Ciampa. Like, I just want them to stay in NXT and fight forever? Each other forever. Yes, literally fight forever.
Yeah, fight forever. If there were ever I saw a meme going around where it was like NXT TakeOver, and it was like in the year 2042 or something.
They're both super old.
Yeah,
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Did you see? Just as a side note too, Ciampa tweeting out recently that he made his debut in the WWE in like 2005.
He was the Undertaker's lawyer.
That's right.
Or no, he was a lawyer that the Undertaker beat up. That's it.
Something, yeah.
I think it was like for the Hassan angle, maybe.
Oh, probably. Maybe around that time.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to even see, like, a picture of Ciampa there. You would never guess that it's him. No. But I just love his tweet. It was something like, like, I wonder if the Undertaker knew what greatness he was in the ring with at that time. Like, just,
he's so good.
No one has got the heat that he has got.
Like I've said before, the fact he doesn't even need the crowd booing him is his theme music.
His theme music. Yeah, he just walks out and like has a scowl on his face, and everyone's
and that's all you need to know.
Fuck you chant, the this, the that, you're the devil, everything. Oh, just amazing, and I just am more than excited to see where this feud continues to go. Like,
you and me both.
How long has it been on now? Year and a half? 2 years?
Yeah. If you want to count when like Ciampa beat Gargano to the ground, I guess, it'd be about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Gargano, I could see, I'm just as scared as you are as them getting a call-up, but I could see him being that next Daniel Bryan-like character. If everything goes right, I feel like he has all the tools, everything he needs for that, but, it's just not always.
But if you want to, like, paint a poster boy for the NXT lull that somebody gets after a call-up, I feel like you would have to put Johnny Wrestling on that poster.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. But clearly, obviously, this feud is not over yet, and a lot more to come for that.
Thank you for that.
All right, this is the point in the show where, if this is your first time listening, our sixth topic of the week is something that is just the worst thing that happened in wrestling this week. Just shitty. Just like one of those things where it makes you embarrassed to be a wrestling fan, or you just kind of like, rubbing your eyes, face palming.
Kind of like a why. Why?
This one's a little bit different, but like what triggered it is I was watching SmackDown and Truth comes on my screen, and I'm just like, oh, Truth still works there. Okay, neat. And he's there with Ty Dillinger. And Ty Dillinger is going places when they put him with Truth.
Yep, and that's like the first time in a while that he got TV time. Turns out the 10 that he's always boasting is the amount of screen time he gets a year in minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes, yeah. It seems about right, really. So ever since that Rumble entrance, there has been nothing going on there. So it just got me thinking, about the amount of people on the roster who are just there and have been there for so long too. There are guys on it, like there's a good amount of guys that have been there for over a decade who I couldn't tell you like one good match they've had.
R-Truth. He's been around since the Attitude Era.
I know, he really has. K-Quick, right? And then he left and, TNA for a bit.
Getting Rowdy would have been one of the longest tag teams ever.
Well, it is. And you know what's funny is like he did have a match with Samoa Joe on SmackDown and he looked great. Like he really does.
Oh, absolutely.
But just his character and everything. Okay, he's still coming out and rapping. Like, what is he? Like almost 50 now? And it's just like, okay.
And they're just trash talking him. Like, was it Corey that was like, hey, do you know the words to his song? And like, no, he doesn't either. It's okay.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. He's offbeat and everything. But yeah, it just kind of got me thinking of like a list of guys like that where Ty Dillinger is quickly becoming one of those. And, same with Prince Pretty and Fandango, like the Fashion
They had
Police.
the momentum.
They did.
Tyler Breeze is a weird one to me because Fandango is injured. So I guess it's kind of like a misstep in Breeze's career because of it. It's like when one of the members of the Revival got injured. Then they just didn't do anything.
I just feel like,
but if you want to talk about somebody else that's in that role, there's the Revival.
Yeah, they're there. I'm just thinking, okay, like Zack Ryder, obviously.
Yeah.
Which he even, like, he fully admits, if you follow Zack Ryder on social media, the hashtag still here. He's just like, yep, ready to go at any point. Like,
years ago.
Check out main event this week because I'm on it. Hashtag still here.
Oh, that's great.
So there's him and there's
great.
Great. Heath Slater, I mean, had that little run with Rhino here, but just another guy who's just kind of been there forever. Kurt Hawkins, you get like Alicia Fox.
He just needs to follow in the footsteps of his 3MB teammates, get jacked as hell, and then you'll get all the title runs.
Has there ever been a ginger champion? But Sheamus comes to mind.
Yes.
So yes, there has been. I'm just kind of scrolling through here, looking at the roster now.
Another great example, the Ascension.
The Ascension is a good one too. Did you know Epico Cologne is still on the roster?
No.
And Primo.
Actually, I didn't.
Both of them, actually.
All right, which show are they on? Okay, hold on. Let me work through this.
They're on the Dark Match show.
Yes, they're on Superstars, our main event.
Yeah,
but
not even there. Well, on a good day, they might get there.
I think the last time I saw them was like a year ago on SmackDown. That's my last memory of them.
Well, they had the Shining Stars thing for a minute.
Yeah.
Where they were travel agents or something, trying to get people to come to, I don't know what the fuck that was, trying to get them to come to Puerto Rico.
Some timeshare thing.
And I feel like they did reinvent them once after that. They had something.
Yeah, it was on SmackDown where they were like a serious tag team for like 2 weeks.
And I feel like they even got a win over someone.
Yeah. I think they got a win over like Heath Slater and Rhino when they were the tag champs.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, here we go. Something. Nope, nothing. So just guys like that where it's just really kind of depressing, really. It's what's better now? Because, I mean, there's those guys that have just left because they see themselves going down that path, right? And with wrestling the way it is today, I feel like it's got to be the right decision, right?
You would think so. I mean, I'm one of the people that argue that wrestling as a whole is in one of the best places it's ever been. There is room for people out there. But how long until those spots like dry up?
It's hard to... That would be like the toughest decision because I don't know. I feel like as like a, if especially like someone like Zack Ryder, you can tell he was the biggest WWE Hulkamaniac fan as a kid. WWE is the only thing he's ever wanted to do in life. And he's there right now.
He's living his dream, technically.
He's there, but he's not doing anything. So I feel like he's a guy who wouldn't walk away from it just because
you do hear
the fear
stories
that he may never come back.
Yeah, you hear stories along the lines of like, yeah, he's just happy to be there. Doesn't really care about his spot. He's living his dream.
Hashtag still here.
And then you have people like, because it doesn't always work out. Because you have people like Jack Swagger as an example. He just debuted in Lucha Underground.
I saw that.
Boy, you could see why Jack Swagger didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to. I think you need to be underutilized, but still have all the potential in the world. There's some guys that are underutilized, but maybe for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? But then you look at like Drew McIntyre. Boom, go away and just be hungry and get everything you can get and come back. And I think they appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what the right decision is. It's some of these guys, I think they're just kind of on the chopping block. They're just waiting until.
For sure.
I'm sorry. Look at all the NXT superstars coming up. There's only so many spots.
Yeah, there's going to be a day where those NXT people are going to call up, and you might be in their spot, and then you just go lower and lower and lower and lower until you get the Future Endeavors message.
Another one, Apollo Crews, is a guy who I know they put him with Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil just seems like that guy who is there just to represent the company. He's at all the events, the charity events and everything, which is great. There's a role for that too. Almost
absolutely.
like an ambassador or something.
The Miz was that for years.
For sure. But,
Apollo
I was going to
Crews.
say Orlando Jordan. Not Orlando Jordan.
No,
but,
not at all. That's a bad ambassador for the
Montel Jordan? Anyways, Apollo Crews, just throwing him with Titus is kind of like, eh.
When he was in NXT, you thought he was going to be WWE champion one day. And that just didn't happen.
He doesn't have the promo tools,
No.
I don't find. I mean, I don't know, because he was a big indie star, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I heard a lot of buzz about him before he got there, but it was one of those ones that maybe just doesn't fit into the system or something. So, I don't know. So many guys that are kind of circling the drain, and we'll see if they just keep circling for the next decade or if they get cut loose and NXT superstars take their spot. Who knows? We'll see.
Who knows? But thanks for showing up, R-Truth.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by. Good to see you. We do have a question. We got there. No, you got the Q's. We got the A's.
That we do.
What's our question this week?
Our Q this week comes from Cynical Cypher, who asks, what is your favorite and least favorite match that the crowd either derailed or took over? Kind of a follow-up to the Iron Man match from Extreme Rules, how the crowd just dumped right on that one. Some examples Cynical gives here.
Our Fuck Pittsburgh episode.
Yes. Fuck Pittsburgh, by the way.
Yep.
The examples that Cynical gives here is something like RVD versus John Cena, which really added to that match.
Oh, at
One Night Stand there.
Yes.
Or Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, the first one from WrestleMania 20, where the crowd just took
knew they were
a
leaving.
dump right on that match.
Fuck you guys. Just leave. The first one that comes to mind for me where I think it enhanced it was CM Punk, John Cena. Because it was in Chicago.
From Money in the Bank, 2011?
Yeah.
The Money in the Bank match between CM Punk and John Cena. You know which one.
The one in Chicago, where obviously Chicago's own CM Punk. I mean, obviously that helps having the hometown boy there, but I just thought the crowd brought so much energy to that. That made it feel so much bigger. Like that was a WrestleMania main event right there in itself, just because of the crowd enhancing it.
One that came to mind for me was the Nakamura-Sami Zayn match from NXT TakeOver, where the crowd was just in the palm of their hands. That's where the Fight Forever chant started. Just great.
That was incredible. And it really does, it changes everything when you're watching.
It does.
When you're watching along, because you could be watching a great match as far as the physicality in the ring and the technicality and everything.
So an example that came to mind for me, I was there during this match. It was the Raw after WrestleMania last year.
Okay.
It was Neville versus Mustafa Ali in the ring, and that's where the whole beach ball thing started, where the crowd started throwing around beach balls, and nobody, including myself, because I was wrapped up in it, was looking at the match. Like going back, Neville and Mustafa had an incredible match, but nobody gave a shit because we were throwing around beach balls. Like it really takes away from the match.
It's so disrespectful and
so disrespectful.
I just hate it. I don't care if it is a shitty match. Like if it's a shitty match, go to the washroom, do something. Just even sit on your hands, even if you're not making any noise at all. I don't know. Just don't be a dick. Like
Agreed.
If you're an actual wrestling fan, like just kind of wait for the match that's going to please you. Really,
you paid money to watch these people perform. Yeah, don't waste your money.
Exactly. I don't know. There's been so many over the years. I can't pick out a few, but that's kind of the ones that come to mind here. And then. Yeah, with that, I think that example in Pittsburgh is going to be the one that ruined the match that's going to go down for a long time. I don't remember one that
gold star
ruined it any more than that, because that was fucking horrible.
So bad.
Fuck you, Pittsburgh.
Fuck you, Pittsburgh.
All right, as we head into next week, we have a very special tournament challenge type of deal.
Let's call it our first ever inaugural, hopefully, special episode. We're going to take a break from the normal format, probably still drink the beer, but move away from the 6 topics. So hopefully This will be our first ever Booker Man Challenge, we're calling it. The first ever Booker Man Challenge. Now, you're probably out there going, well, what the hell is the Booker Man Challenge?
Should it be the Booker Man Classic? I feel
classic. The Booker Man Classic
makes it sound more established, like important.
Yes.
What do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I like the Booker Man Classic.
Booker Man Classic? Okay, and we're kind of thinking like around this time, kind of leading up to SummerSlam each year, we can do this.
Yeah, a nice little special episode, getting away from the weekly grind.
And this is going to be fun, and we want some fan participation through some of it as well.
So what is the Booker Man Classic?
Yeah, you might ask. Well, tell us, Keith.
Yes, nothing to do with the Bookman himself, but Mark and
Five-time WCW champion.
Can you dig that, sucker?
Spinneroonie.
Mark and I are going to put ourselves in the shoes of WWE bookers and try and book the best possible show that we can. So how are we going to do this? Well,
I'm going to be the Kevin Sullivan of this.
All right. The original Booker Man. That's where I actually got the reference from. It was from a Brian Pillman, Kevin Sullivan match. I'm impressed about that. So how does this work? Well, what Mark and I are going to do is we're each going to come up with a list of 20 WWE superstars from any point in history.
Any point.
The only rule is that we can't use the same superstar twice, regardless of gimmick. Like if we had Kane, we couldn't have Dr. Isaac Yankem at the same time. If we had
the Smoking Gun Billy Gunn, or the one, well, I guess he's still Billy Gunn. Hold on.
We couldn't have the
Max
Smoking
Moon
Gun
or Conan.
Yeah, Mr.
Conan.
Ass.
My examples are fucking terrible.
No, it works. Like if you had the Smoking Gun Billy Gunn, we could not have Mr. Ass in that case.
I gotcha.
So once we have those, we're asking you for some help as well out there in Listenerland. We want you to come up with 10 superstars, and then we have to use those superstars. Whoever you suggest, we're going to pick 10 from the pool of everyone, and we have to use those stars. We cannot veto anybody.
Yeah, so whatever 10 you come up with, one of us will be drafting them to our side and finding a spot for them. So be kind.
Yes. You know, make them interesting, but maybe not too interesting.
Yeah, make it a challenge for us
exactly.
here.
So once we have our pool of 50 superstars, Mark and I are going to do a draft where we go back and forth, same way that the WWE did their inaugural draft. We pick our shows.
We have a podium and everything.
Exactly. They're going to be quite beautiful.
Yes.
All right, so now we've got our shows. What happens next? Well, it's both myself and Mark's job to create one pay-per-view, a pay-per-view card consisting of a heavyweight, mid-card, tag team, and women's title match, and then the storylines that leading up to them. So the pay-per-view itself is going to be between 6 and 8 matches, and then we have to have those 4 matches in there. So what we do with those and build around it, and then the storylines that lead up to it, that's all up to us. If we really like to talk about putting the tinfoil hat on, we are going full tinfoil hat mode here.
So we're basically going to explain like the feuds leading up to these matches.
Exactly.
And I also think we should name our own pay-per-view.
Absolutely. We have to come up with the name, everything. We'll have our brands. Like, for example, let's say I'm Raw, you're SmackDown. And then it'll be Raw presents Pain and Gain or something.
I'm going to fucking win this. That's a terrible name for a pay-per-view. That's a terrible name for a movie with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, too. But.
Well, you don't know. Hey, that was a great movie. Tread lightly there. So once we have our shows, once Pain and Gain is complete, we don't get to decide who the winner is. You do.
Yes.
We're going to put up a poll. We're going to run it for a couple weeks. You're going to vote, and you're going to see who the first ever Booker Man Classic champion will be.
I love this. We're going to, post like a graphic with our entire card. We'll have the episode available for you so you can kind of figure out the feuds going into this and what interests you the most.
Exactly. Just in case the rules were a little confusing or if I didn't explain it well, I'll post these on Twitter so you can follow along, get to understand, help really influence the decision of the superstar that you send us.
For sure. Yeah. Your job right now is at Six-Pack Cast. We want you to, again, send us a superstar. Well, we want to build a pool of 10 here that we are going to have to use in the Booker Man Classic here. I'm excited about this putting a card together and seeing where it goes and naming our pay-per-view and may the best man win.
May the best man win. Now, this show will be happening in 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Today is Today is July something.
July 26th, according to my phone.
Okay, so this will be happening, 2 weeks. So this Bookerman Classic episode will be coming out August the 8th. So you have, up until kind of early August, because we obviously want to work on this and get the draft over with. But let's say, kind of early August, let's get those suggestions in, again, at Six-Pack Cast. Let's build this pool of 10 superstars with the fan participation here and see where this goes.
Yeah. May the best man win.
May the best Bookerman win. The Bookerman Classic, that's our big announcement. It's going to be bigger than Evolution or whatever the WWE announced this week. So.
Yeah. Evolution, Smevolution.
Yeah, whatever. All right, that's going to do it for this week. Again, we appreciate everyone following along and listening to each episode here. We hopefully can kind of get some topics started and get you thinking about your own theories of what's going on in wrestling and whatnot. That's what we like talking about. And if you ever have something where you're like, that Mark guy's a fucking asshole, like what is he even talking about? That's nothing that's, so far off.
I feel like that
call
happens
me out
a
on
lot
it.
to me.
Yeah, does it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, what I see the most tweets going to you. Hey, why is it not up on YouTube? Did Keith forget to hit a button? I see those tweets.
Yeah. See, turns out you shouldn't just let something upload and go to bed because it might not finish. And then you look the next day when you're at work, make sure it's all good, and then you realize to yourself, oh fuck, it's not good.
I just picture you as Homer Simpson and you hired like the nodding bird to like tap the keyboard and you just go to bed and you're like, oh, he's got it. Yeah, I'm good.
The bird didn't have it.
He did not have it, no. All right, that's going to do it for episode 0010. Anything else to add?
May the best Bookerman win.
All right.
Stay tuned.
We'll have another one. We'll be talking about the Bookerman Classic again next week. And then following that, we will have the actual Bookerman Classic. Stay tuned.